My name is Blake Gilman, and this is a quick development video on Deep Space. The current background being one of the old main menus that didn't make the final cut, but that I felt was still a good minimalistic shot that showed off what the game's graphics will actually look like. Except for the pixelated lock icon, it's not like that anymore. Also, here's the gamma turned up, because it's a bit of an eyesore to look at something like this while I talk. Just in the terms that it's dark, literal bad for your eyes. Anyway. So let me go over what this release is. I want there to be no misconceptions about why it's early access. The simplest way I can put it is, this is not a full release. This is an initial startup that is meant to be like a large-scale beta test, where I can get feedback on what does and doesn't work and what people want to see more or less of. So this first release only has one map and one alien. There are 5 different operators already in the game, and they're all playable. After I know the game is stable, I'll be adding a new alien character, which I'm in the process of programming right now. And I want to add a second map, which I already have a few design layouts for. Also, before I go any further, I just want to go over a few things that happened in the trailer that aren't accurate to the game you'll be seeing. First of all, you may have noticed that every time a character shoots in the trailer, they stand still. This was because at the time I hadn't yet had a running while shooting animation, and so this was done for the sake of visuals. You can indeed run while shooting now. Second of all, the starter operator, named Joshua, in this trailer, you can see place down a plasma shield. I wanted all operators to have cool abilities and gadgets, but it seemed a bit weird for the starter operator to start off with something like that. So I gave it to the second operator you see in the game, named Beetle. This way players have something to look forward to rather than getting their cool gadgets at the beginning. And finally, the crosshair. It's not a crosshair anymore, it's just kind of a dot. Because you'll notice that your bullets don't go where your crosshair is aiming, they go where your gun is aiming, represented by a moving dot. Because the majority of people will be playing the base level game, or at least the Space Fleet edition of the game, I wanted to work on new maps and new game modes first. So for those of you who bought Admiral's Edition, the story will come. I've got piles of crumpled story notes next to me to prove it. And a warning on the servers. The servers are a bit more expensive than I originally thought. Don't get me wrong, I love the attention that the game is getting, but there is a distinct possibility that for the first day or so of the game's release that the servers could be full. They can handle up to 100 players playing at once, and if I want to be able to support more, I'm going to need to lay down $1,000, which is even more if you take into consideration that my budget for this game was $250. So really, if I want to be able to upgrade the servers, I'm going to have to rely on people getting the DLC. The Steam announcement I made leading up to this video asked if you guys had any questions, so here are some of those. Can you make a little giveaway with that 2 DLCs? Sure, why not? I'll put a link in the description where you can put in your email and I'll randomly pick who gets the Space Fleet key. Don't take too long though, because since the game releases tomorrow, I'm going to be picking the winner tonight at 8 p.m., that being Eastern Time. I don't think the winner would appreciate me throwing out their email, so to signal that a key has been given away, I'll just remove the link from this video's description. Since I'll be using a generator to pick your name, your chances of winning are equal always, so if you feel like applying at 7:59, you'd still have just as much of a chance of winning as if you applied when this video first came out. Again, these times being US Eastern. Today's the day. Says I can't download yet, but I was just going to remind you if you've forgotten. I want to see what the game will be like when released into early access, and I was just wondering what engine was used to make the game. Thanks. Alright, I tried, okay? I tried to get it released, but actually, the thing that got it delayed so much was Steam denied my game build, because on the store page, I had it marked as single player when it wasn't. The reason I had it marked as single player was because the DLC added single player, which in hindsight, it doesn't make sense to have it on the main store page, but rather on the DLC page, but still, this one thing made them have to completely re-review everything, which forced me to push the release date several times. I actually replied to this comment in another announcement, but it's probably better to do it here. I used Unity 2018. I know Unity gets a lot of shit, but I've been using it for years now, and I absolutely love it. The thing is that it's easy for people to pick up, and so of course there's a lot of people with no experience who are going to get a hold of it and make crappy games. And when people see all those crappy games with the Unity logo on it, they're like, oh wow, this is all Unity is good for, is bad games. But I mean, that's really ignoring not only the engine's capabilities, but a lot of other good Unity games like Escape from Tarkov, Cuphead, Hearthstone, The Forest, Rust. I mean, just off the top of my head to name a few. When is story mode going to be released? I have the notes. I have I have the notes. I mean, I've got piles of them. It's just that, again, since most players are playing the multiplayer game modes, I want to focus on those first. The story will come, and really it all depends on the support the game gets. I mean, if a lot of people are getting the DLC, then I know a lot of people are waiting to get that story mode, and I'd have a reason to work on it more, opposed to working on the multiplayer. Like, I want to help the most amount of people possible, if that makes sense. So really, if you want to see the story mode come sooner, then get the DLC. That way I'll know people are interested in. Are giveaways planned for the DLC? As previously mentioned, yes. That's all for this. I hope it wasn't too much to take in. But really, my whole point of making this video was this. Don't let hype catch you too hard, because as much as I love the promotion that it gives my game, too much hype can lead to a lot of impossible expectations that leave you disappointed. I work on this game between 50 to 90 hours a week, but I'm just one guy. I hope you all like the release, because within a month of the release, I want to triple the amount of content in the game. After, of course, fix any bugs I know you guys will find. And with your support, I think that can happen.